Are the Golden State Warriors ever going to lose again? Okay, that sounds like a jinx. My apologies. But after going 6-0 in preseason, they have absolutely smacked the Portland Trail Blazers and Utah Jazz in the first 2 games of the season. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just Portland and Utah, of course they're gonna win. Well, for anyone who watches basketball, the Utah Jazz are always difficult to beat in Utah, finishing 21-20 last season at home and nearly beating the Grizzlies in their first game of the season. The same goes for the Trailblazers, who also almost beat the Pelicans in a game just today. But so far through 2 games, the Dubs have looked absolutely dominant. And it might be time to bring back the strength in numbers slogan. I mean, truly bring it back, because this is a team that has NBA level players on every single spot on their bench. And most importantly, they don't just have depth on that bench, they have some legitimate star power. And when I say star power, how about a guy who can give you 24 points in a half of basketball coming off the bench? That's what Buddy Hield just did. You know what else Buddy did in addition to his 27 points? He also had 6 assists, which is an underrated aspect of his game. He can legitimately handle the ball and make plays. Look at him here getting the handoff from GP2, who slips the screen and Buddy makes a great read to the cutting young glove. Or look at him navigating the Looney screen before rifling a perfect left-handed pass to Steph. Is that Steph Curry or is it Buddy Hield? Is it Buddy or is it Steph? It doesn't really matter who it is, because those points are all going towards the Warriors' tally. And what really stood out about this game, outside of the effort and defense, was the combination of Steph Curry and Buddy Hield. You might look at the stat sheet and see Steph Curry's numbers of 7 of 20 from the field and only a few assists. But there's more to basketball than just the box score. And in the first half, Buddy was on an absolute heater like I mentioned, which meant Steph was not required to carry the Dubs offense like we have seen him do so often. But when the second half started, it was Steph Curry who exploded in the third quarter, going off for 13 points. And this is the advantage of having both a deep team and a team with numerous guys that can get hot. It means that when Steph Curry has his explosion, which happens for at least a quarter almost every single game, as we saw in the Olympics, that quarter can just break the opposition. Just like the third quarter from this game, and for the second game in a row, Steph Curry or Draymond Green weren't required to step foot on the floor in the fourth quarter. And this is the biggest advantage of having so much depth. You won't need to play Steph Curry and Draymond Green 40 minutes each game to win, particularly against the weaker teams in the league. And then you can save those big minute games for the tougher matchups. Not to mention, you can actually rest Steph on the bench without thinking the game is about to be lost in 4 minutes. Do you guys remember when it felt like anytime Steph Curry sat on the bench, the game was over? I know it's only been 2 games, but so far, that looks so far from the truth, and it's just a relief to see. And with all the talent on the Warriors bench, from Buddy Hield to Brandon Podziemski to Moses Moody, guess who has been the first guy off the bench in the first 2 games of the season? A man who took 10 years to find a spot in the NBA. Someone who doesn't shoot the ball like those 3 guys I mentioned, but he does everything else so well. I'm of course talking about Gary Payton II. And what did he do in his 12 minutes off the bench against Utah? Well, he did what he does, which is record 3 steals. Look at him here help off the corner shooter once he recognizes Collins has nowhere else to go, and those expert hands to poke the ball away. I said this in preseason, but 2 players who were crucial for the Dubs during their championship run look significantly better than they did last season, and that's Gary Payton II and Kevon Looney. 2 guys that won't blow you away with their skill set or the stat sheet, but constantly make the right plays on defense, with Looney also mopping up on the boards like we've seen him do in the past. The Dubs don't need these guys to play 30 minutes a game, but in those 15 minutes they're on the floor, they just find a way to impact the game positively. Now, another guy who won't get much credit for these 2 games, particularly the game against Utah where he only shot 3 of 10 from the field, is Andrew Wiggins. But similar to Balloon and GP2, just in a more advanced way, he impacts the game in so many aspects. Even a game where he shot 3 of 10, he ended with 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and was active on defense all night long, finishing the game with 10, 13, 5, and 2 blocks in just 23 minutes of action. And the field goal percentage is deceiving anyway, because a lot of those missed shots was him hustling on the offensive glass. What really matters right now is Andrew Wiggins looks confident from 3-point range, he looks locked in on defense, and he's rebounding like the Andrew Wiggins that helped the Dubs win a championship. We all know he has the talent to be a great player. The reason he was so effective for the Warriors was because he did those things so consistently during that championship season. And so far I've seen a level of energy through 2 games that we just didn't see last season. And you know what else wasn't there last season? Warriors basketball. Not just blowing out teams, which we've seen them do so often in the past, but the ball movement, the intensity, the fluidity. We saw this in preseason, and everyone said, it's just preseason. Well, everyone is about to say it's just Utah and Portland, but you can't tell me this isn't exciting to watch. Look at this play where it starts with Dre getting the ball at the 3-point line. He gives it up to Steph, who draws 2 defenders as always, and watch Dre kick it to Buddy, who draws the defense in before kicking it out to Wiggs for an open 3. Nothing about that play was revolutionary, but it just shows how in sync this Warriors offense is. And you know for a fact, Buddy Hield is loving playing in Golden State with the movement, the freedom, the offense, even saying that it's the most open he's been since college. He's been in the NBA for 10 years, so that is saying something. And let's not forget, Buddy Hield is only 31 years old. Prior to last year, he was a walking 17 points a night on 40% shooting from 3. And now he's telling us that he's never been more open in his career. He's never played on a team like this. The Warriors might have picked up the 6th man of the year for a bag of peanuts and a bottle of Gatorade, because that's all it took for them to get him in a trade. And speaking of getting players for a bag of peanuts, I'm going to say this every single video until the national media starts to recognize who this man is. Trayce Jackson-Davis should not be this good as a 57th overall pick in his 2nd season in the league. We've now played 2 games and he hasn't even missed a shot. He provides rim protection on defense, he's a great passer for his position, he rebounds, he boxes out. This is a ready-made, good NBA player as the 57th overall pick in just his 2nd year, and we're already seeing improvements as well. Shout out to Mike Dunleavy and the front office, because as of right now, this team is absolutely cooking. Now, if you want to see me continue to talk about this, consider subscribing, it's free. Dropping a like on the video would be much appreciated. Most importantly, have a great day.